I'll start the teleprompter.
Okay, we good?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hello and welcome to Family Focus, sponsored by Baltimore County Public Library. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michael Vyskocil, managing editor of Baltimore's Child magazine. Family Focus gives parents and caregivers like you information, inspiration, and resources for your families. We have a great Family Focus program in store for you today. Coming up, we'll hear from an educator about how theater arts can benefit children with learning differences. But first, our Family Focus news and notes. United Ways in Maryland are joining together to survey families affected by the pandemic throughout the state. The COVID-19 survey will gather information from residents about the impacts the coronavirus pandemic has had on their employment, housing, and basic needs. All Marylanders are invited to complete the survey between now and April 15th. The survey takes about 10 minutes to complete, and it will give United Way critical information in order to serve its communities in Maryland. We have links to the survey and more information on our website, baltimoreschild.com. 7th and 8th grade students at Notre Dame Preparatory School in Baltimore were honored by the FBI for their cyber safety skills. The students won the Safe Online Scoring Award for high scores in tests measuring online safety awareness. Agents from the FBI Baltimore office made a special visit to the school to present students with the award in person. You can read more about this award on our website, baltimoreschild.com. The Baltimore County Public Library has launched a new reading initiative for parents and caregivers to complete with their children from ages birth to age 5, 1,000 books before kindergarten. The program's goal is to help children develop early literacy skills, such as speaking, listening, and communicating, before they start kindergarten. There is no minimum age requirement to sign up, and participating is very easy. Just go to bcpl.info to download reading logs and more information about 1,000 books before kindergarten. And you can stay up to date with all the latest articles, events for children, parents in the Baltimore area by going to our website. It's baltimoreschild.com. It's my pleasure to welcome our next guest to Family Focus. Sean Elias is the Upper School Performing Arts Department Chair and Theater Coordinator at the Jemicy School in Owings Mills, Maryland. Thank you, Sean, for joining us here.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
All right, so tell me a little bit about your involvement in the theater arts program at Jemicy School. How long have you been doing it, and kind of what you've been observing?
Yeah, well, thank you so much again
for
having me. And so Jemicy is a remarkable place. And so I came to Jemicy about 5 years ago, 5.5, maybe 6. They sort of blur together after so long. And there was no theater program. And they were really interested. I think they believed in the power of the arts from the beginning before I even arrived there. And so through the interview process, they said, what could this look like? What could we do? And it was really a journey of discovery. I have a master's in theater education, but not specifically for children with learning differences. And so it was new for everyone. It was new for the kids. It was new for me. It was new for Jemicy. But what united us all was the understanding that we know that there is power in the arts for all children, be it learning differences or fully abled or capable, if you will. And so it's just been remarkable. I mean, for 5 years, the program has grown from a small involvement of a core 5 or 6 kids who knew they had a passion for theater to such a huge percentage of involvement. I mean, now over 30 to 40% of the school is involved in the arts in some capacity, either technically or performing on stage. We've gone on to win tons of awards, from the Baltimore Theater Awards to the Cabbies of Baltimore. These kids made it to the International Thespian Festival, which is this huge organization that brings together almost every high school in every state, also Canada and China. They survey the productions, and they choose 11 each year to be performed in front of the entire contingent of about 4,000 to 5,000 students. And so we had won a grant to go the first year, and then the kids looked to me and said, "Mr. Elias, can we be on that big main stage?" And I said, "Of course, one day you can." The next year, there they are on stage. So it's just been a remarkable, wild journey from this small, humbled beginning, believing that the arts had power and impact, to seeing these kids and what they've achieved artistically, but also in their own selves and development.
Yeah. In our article, you mentioned that 35 to 40% of the students are involved in the upper school's theater program. So what do you think contributes that high rate of participation?
Yeah, I think we've done a really good job. And when I say we, I mean the students who really own this program. We have thespian officers, my colleagues, the administration. We've all bought in to communicating value. And so we don't just say the fun things that come with theater, which there are many. Sometimes you miss school, right? That's definitely a draw. Sometimes you're getting free meals and pizza, and there's the social aspect is fun. So of course we plug all those, but we talk about value for them as people and humans. I believe that theater, to steal a quote from Oscar Wilde, theater is the most human way to teach another human what it's like to be human. And so that's our philosophy that we bring to the kids and really develop them as citizens and humans as well as artists. And so they have lasting skills that they're like, you know what? I can probably use that even if I'm going to study criminology or I'm going to become the next governor of Maryland. And so I think that's what has drawn them in. And I think it looks fun. I hope it looks fun. I think it looks fun.
So how do you think specifically participating in theater gives students who have learning differences the confidence that they need to really succeed in school?
There's no risk of failure, I think. I think for so many students who have any sort of obstacle, they come to the table with an experience that there is a right and a wrong. And I have to get it right. That's sort of like how school is structured, right? I need the A, I need the 100, I need to pass this test, I need to get into college. But in the theater, we embrace it or approach it from a perspective of what you come up with the solutions, you come up with the answers. We have a goal we want to get to, but you tell me what comes to your mind. And so they get to see their own thoughts and ideas play out in a way where then we say, oh my God, that's brilliant. I'll give you an example. So it just happened. We're in rehearsal for Clue. Over at Jemicy School, we're doing this crazy hybrid version. We're like creating this new form of theater, which we're really excited about. And we were just on stage just today, and we were placing everyone. And one of the students said, "Oh, you mean we're going to be standing like the cover of the poster?" Because they had put two and two together of the image. And I said, "Oh my God, I wasn't even thinking that, but that's brilliant. Absolutely. Stage management, write down." The student's name that I was working with was Phoebe. Write down Phoebe's idea. That's brilliant. We're going to steal it, right? And so immediately they get to walk away from rehearsal that day and say, oh my God, I had the idea. Oh, we're doing something that I came up with. And there was no pressure. They didn't have to, right? They have this sort of like free entry of expression. And then they see it actualize. And I think that is specifically what benefits these kids to realize that they can do so many other things across the curriculum.
Yeah. You talked about Clue. What are some of the other performances that you've been a part of and have helped the students with over the years?
Yeah, we do a lot. We do 3 a year, 1 each trimester. We're on a trimester system. So we do a fall play, full length. In the wintertime, we do student work if it's ready or if it's there. Or we do a smaller production, and in the spring we do a huge musical. And so I think now I have to do math. I'm a theater person, 3, 6, 9, 12, almost 15 productions in. And they, from Shakespeare, right? I mean, this is a population of kids that they thought couldn't possibly memorize lines, and here they are reciting Shakespeare and winning awards for it, right? It's crazy what they've been able to do and accomplish. So it's been quite a bit.
Yeah. I think it's interesting from a parent's perspective, getting your children interested in participating in theater. What would you say to parents to kind of take a look at theater from this idea of what it can do to benefit children? And that includes, children certainly with learning differences, but also other children as well.
Yeah, I think the performing arts, for some reason, have this sort of like stigma of almost that it's not worth it, or it's a waste of time, or you'll never make money, right? Like, why even go down that road? And there's so much focus on STEM, which by all means, of course, right, is necessary. But the skills that you learn in the performing arts are skills that directly help with those who are differently abled, right? We're talking about executive function, right? Deficits. To show up to rehearsal on time, to sign in every day, to have a routine, right? That teaches kids how to prepare, right? But it's in the guise of what they love, right? So theater is fun and exciting. I can prepare. Oh yeah, I did show up I was ready to go. Oh, I did have my materials and the proper attitude and the dress that I needed to have. And then that translates to history and to math, right? Because the teacher can then say, okay, we need to be prepared just like you were prepared for rehearsal, which the teachers at Jemicy are phenomenal and pull that language into their classrooms, right? And so when you find that school that appreciates the arts the way that Jemicy does, you find the faculty members that are bought in, it really helps all of the skills that you're developing in rehearsal that the kids don't even know are happening. We don't sit there and say, okay, everyone, when you signed in, it's executive function. Did you know that, right? It's something that's just developed. And then they're able to pull that language across the curriculum with their other teachers. And it benefits in whatever area of life they go into. So even if you think your kid is going to be the next Broadway star, or you think your child has no hope in the performing arts whatsoever, there's also backstage, right? There's a whole world of technology at their fingertips that they get to play with. And if this past year has taught us anything, those skills with technology, audio, video, visual, you name it, they're going to come in handy at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably have encountered students who has maybe some fears, apprehensions about getting involved in theater. How do you have a memory of anyone in particular and how that individual really grew through participating in theater arts, particularly anyone who may have had some learning differences? Yeah,
so all of the students at Jemicy do have some learning difference. The story that stands out in my mind was I had a student, very young, this was their freshman year, and they refused to speak in class. There was exercises where we would all have to stand up in front of the class and we have to recite, and absolutely refused. And so I said, okay, we'll make a deal. You get so many times where you could pass, and then so many times where you have to contribute. Fast forward the end of that year, and they're starring in Little Women the musical, winning a Baltimore Theater Award for Best Ensemble, right? Like it's crazy what this can do. And I think I'm even surprised, right, in the results that are possible, because I'm thinking this child is never going to speak. Like, what's going to happen? And here they are singing in a Broadway style musical. So I think that is probably that they found their voice, and now they're not going to be in the performing arts. They're not going to college to study the performing arts, though it had such an impact, and they love and they support. But they'll continue to support the arts as they grow into maturity, and they've used it to become an artist. They've realized, actually, all the exposure to the costumes, to the makeup, to the set design, right, which is all fine arts. Theater is truly the only art form that encompasses all the art forms, right? Music, visual art. They're now accepted to MICA for visual art, and so it's really profound what this can do for anyone's passion, be it in the performing arts or not.
Yeah. So that's a good point that you made. Where do some of the students go, when they graduate? What do they get involved in? What do they do? You mentioned MICA. Where are some of the other places where the students have been at?
And it's so new, right? Because I've been there about 5 or 6 years, so we've only had a few that have hit graduation and college yet. But I mean, they're getting accepted to some of the most renowned performing arts training programs. Marymount Manhattan comes to mind, Ithaca College, Emerson College, the University of the Arts in Philadelphia, my alma mater, which it's remarkable where these Coastal Carolina University, the Hart School, Shenandoah Conservatory, these are some pretty heavy hitters. So they surprise me.
Yeah. What's interesting, one of the most compelling reasons people often talk about for encouraging dramatic arts and education is this ability to unlock a child's potential. I think you talked about that. Can you talk about what that means, and specifically why the dramatic arts are just as important as all those other subjects when it comes to a child's education? Yeah, I think it's about, what does that? I think it's the exploration that you get to have into other people's psyches, into other people's stories, into other cultures that are different than yours. You really do go on this wild journey of discovery of people who are other than you. And in order to access that performance and make it believable, truthful, of artistic merit, there has to be some sort of connection to you, no matter how different or villainous the role may be. You have to find some sympathy, some empathy, right? And I think just that skill, that understanding of self in relation to others, unlocks not only knowledge about the other person, but of your own being, right? And not only what you're capable of because of what you're seeing happen and come to fruition and your ideas being chosen, right? But
but this understanding that there are how I relate to humanity and how I contribute to humanity, right? Be it in the arts or be it in criminology. I have another student of mine who's been in the performing arts the whole 4 years that they've been at Jemicy, and they're going to be a criminologist, right? But that ability to see into another's mind, right? There's so many connections in any way that you slice it, I think.
Yeah. So being so involved in theater, what's your favorite performance of all that you've done at the school, and just also too, just what are some other performances that you've witnessed in your own life that have really made an impact on you?
That's a great question. Every time, right, when you're in theater arts, they're like, what's your favorite show? What's your favorite show? I think the favorite production that I worked on at Jemicy would have to be Peter and the Starcatcher, which was the production that eventually was invited to the main stage at festival, because it was the perfect combination of a few things. It was, I think, the maturation of our program, where we started to really hit our stride, me and my colleagues, and where the school really sort of found its support, right? Like how we all work together to do this thing. And the kids, I mean, like we just had this show allowed for the students who were cast to show up in a way that was authentic to themselves, and such a childlike, the script demanded this childlike wild abandon. And I think these kids who are twice gifted just have some access to that I haven't seen in every child. So I think the combination of the script, I think the combination of the love and the support and the belief from the school and the whole community, right? Like parents are involved. This is not a one-man show by any means. My colleagues, right? And the material, what we've been able to create artistically, like it all sort of just was the right time for that production with those kids in that moment. And it was magical. And it took us on a magical ride that I'll remember for the rest of my life. In terms of other productions that have like struck me in my core as an artist, I think I'm drawn to a true book musical that really has a strong script. I think my training has always been a foundation as an actor, and then we use music to continue to tell that story or that narrative. And so musicals that really have, I just think music is just so powerful, right? But musicals that are driven by narrative and story, I think are the most interesting to me. Yeah.
You mentioned something very important, community and the parent community.
Yes.
How has the greater Baltimore community really helped out?
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you asked. It's the connections that these programs that exist in Baltimore offer are phenomenal, and I want to encourage every educator to participate and have their kids participate, and every parent to encourage and ask questions about, hey, could we participate in this? These communities just become so strong, these relationships. Students, that, especially in private school, they're usually smaller communities, and those relationships remain internal. But with these, like the Cappies of Baltimore, right? You're creating small teams from different schools that are going around and seeing each other's plays, and then you remember each other, and then they're having, oh, I loved when you did this, or oh man, like you did this, and I wish I could get this. How do I do that? They start mentoring one another. And so it's really something special that these programs offer these kids to connect. Cappies of Baltimore, Baltimore Theater Awards, the Educational Theater Association, and the International Thespian Society blows that up to a global perspective, right? Like my kids have friends now doing theater in China, right? And like that's like crazy to think that that's possible. And all of that, and that's the informal support, right? They get the formal support from their educators, me, my team, the school. But the informal support is so important in a child's life, and to be able to know and trust where that support is coming from is such a relief for me as an educator. I can only imagine as a parent, because there are other kids who share the same values, right? They're in these organizations, these honor societies for theater, that say this is how we conduct ourselves. It is not a competition against you, right? This is a competition against a rubric. We're trying to achieve a level of art, and how can I help you get that score that I got, or how can I get the score that you did, right? As opposed to, I'm going to get you next time, right? That's not the environment at all. So the bigger Baltimore community is truly supportive.
Well, Sean, how can the community and those who are watching follow your activities in terms of the theater program at Jemicy? Is there a website? Facebook?
Yeah.
How can people follow your progress and start to see what you're doing?
Yeah, great question. So JemicySchool.org, there's a whole arts page. We've got our thespians, the kids themselves, run our troop's Instagram account. So Jemicy Thespians, you can go on Instagram and follow us that way. You could, and also our shows. So keep a lookout on our website, on our press releases. So that's the biggest thing is supporting through patronage, right? And showing up for the kids to see the work that they're working so hard. And they're working hard. I mean, these kids are in rehearsal 3 to 5 every day, 9 to 6 on the weekends sometimes. So it's a rigorous process that we employ at Jemicy. So just showing up and being there is huge, 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 huge.
Well, Sean, thank you again for joining us here this afternoon. We appreciate it. It has been wonderful speaking with you, and thank you for taking time to talk a little bit about just how your impact and your involvement in the theater arts has helped, obviously, so many children, and just the benefits of having children participate in the theater arts, what that can do for a child socially, emotionally, just all of the different components that obviously makes that well-rounded individual.
Yeah, it's like a team. It's sport, right?
Is.
And I could be, and any educator who does the arts could be sitting here. So I truly am humbled to be just one of them, but there's so many out there that are doing this work. And so kudos to them too.
Definitely. Well, we thank you so much for all that you do and for all that you do for this community and for our students too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Easter is just around the corner, and there's no better time to start thinking about what you'll be putting in your child's Easter basket this year. We stopped in at Wee Chic at Green Spring Station. The owner, Bridget Strickline, took us through some items that you can consider for your child's Easter basket this year.
Good morning. Welcome to Wee Chic. We're going to explore a little bit about building Easter baskets for our favorite little ones. We're starting today with Noah. Noah loves dinosaurs. So, of course, we have to do this dinosaur hand puppet. It's slimy and gross, just like all the boys love. Then we go on to these dinosaur goggles. These are great when it warms up and we can all get back in the pool. Love these dinosaur stuffies. They're soft and comfy, but also fierce and scary. Going on here, we've got kinetic sand with bugs. So you can bury the bugs in the sand and then excavate them. Of course, dinosaur hand sanitizer. We can't go anywhere without that these days. We love these tattoos. And then this magnet box is so much fun because all of the magnets are inside the box. I know the moms hear me when I say we love toys that are self-contained. So you've got all these fun magnet activities, but they all stay nice inside the box. So you play inside the box and then put it right away. If you've been paying any attention to Instagram lately, you've seen the child safety knives. So we love this set. It's got a child safety knife and a dinosaur cutting board. So great to start those early knife skills and get kids comfortable in the kitchen. And then ergonomic crayons, super easy for little hands, and this great coloring book with nice big spaces. And then lastly for Noah, you know you've got boxes and boxes of Lego blocks that are laying idle. This book is great because it gives you new ideas with existing blocks. So it takes you through tons of projects you can make with all the blocks you already own. So we love that. We know it's all about keeping kids occupied right now. So lots of things to keep little minds working and fill time while we're still stuck in the house for another Easter. Then we've got our favorite little girls. So retro toys are happening again. You'll recognize this, My Little Pony. Care Bears are back. Speak and Spell is back. Strawberry Shortcake is back. All the things from our own childhood that we can now share with our own kids. Super fun for Easter basket. Of course, the classic bunny. Jelly cats are the softest. We love building toys. So this is a magnetic building toy called GeoMag. You can build endless combinations with this. Love that there. Of course, a little female empowerment. Always good to learn about our heroes. We talked about retro toys, mini Light Bright. Air dry clay is great. You can make things and then they're going to get solid so that you can keep them forever. Again, with warmer temps coming, we love this paint your own birdhouse. So it gives you a chance to decorate this, hang it outside, and watch all the little feathery friends come and have their dinner. Tattoos, again, you'll see that retro roller skate, really fun. We love these scented gel pens. The hottest toy of the moment is the newest fidget. It's called an in and out or a pop it. So kind of like bubble wrap perpetually. You'll see it can pop back and forth. They come in tons of different shapes and colors. Really fun for that homeschool when you need to occupy your hands so your brain can focus. And then our little stuff, got wonderful little chapstick there. Fun goggles for swimming in the pool when it gets warm enough. We all love slime, so this is a slime with confetti inside. And then lastly, our hand sanitizer, hang right on the backpack. Make sure that we're staying clean and sanitized while we're out and about. We all know those tweenagers, maybe they're too cool for an actual basket. So we love this overnight bag to replace the basket and you fill it full of fun stuff. This is a tie-dye kit, so it comes with all the things you need. You can take a t-shirt or a tank top and turn it into a tie-dye creation. We love that. For those budding artists, this is a bling microphone that's going to talk with Bluetooth right to your phone or other devices, so you can sing your favorite songs. Love that. Who doesn't know a teenager that would rock that t-shirt? The all-important lap desk. We're spending a lot of time doing schoolwork sitting down on the couch. So this converts for both a laptop and an iPad to make that a little bit easier. We try to do as many candy-free baskets as we can, but can't have Easter without a little bit of candy. So what we love about these candy kits is you have to work for it a little bit. So you actually create the candy before you eat it. Really fun. And then lastly, this is a ramen candy. So it looks like ramen, which is super trendy food right now, but it's all made from gummy candy. So really fun. Put a little bit of extra something into that bag for your favorite teenager.
And thank you, Baltimore, for all of your nominations for our Baltimore's Child 2021 Reader's Choice Awards. We thank you for taking part in this annual Readers Poll. Voting for this year's winners is coming up. It's April 1st, so don't miss your opportunity to cast your vote for the best of the best in our Reader's Choice Awards. Thank you for joining us for Family Focus. We also want to thank today's program sponsor, Baltimore County Public Library, and our guests for helping us make this edition of Family Focus possible. Be sure to visit baltimoreschild.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone.